How dysfunctional is your family? To find out the signs, stay tuned to this video. Welcome to the SCG Show, the home of education entertainment, and please do me a favor, if you really enjoyed this video, smash that like button, I would really appreciate it. Now, what does the word dysfunctional actually mean? Now, according to a search, dysfunctional is to not act normal or properly, okay? Therefore, what exactly defines a dysfunctional family? And a dysfunctional family is one which conflict and instability is very common. Parents might abuse or neglect their kids, and other family members are often forced to accommodate and enable negative behavior. So hopefully I think you get the picture. If you've grown up in a dysfunctional household or family, you may struggle to know what is not normal, what is not healthy. A close friend I know grew up in an extremely dysfunctional family. So much so that when he went for the first time ever to a friend's house and saw another family that were loving, caring, respectful to each other, and they didn't fight and shout and scream, he actually broke down and cried. And he said, "I cannot believe there are normal, loving families and people out there in this world." Well, you better believe it, buddy. Look, we cannot change who we grow up with, cannot change our families, certainly cannot change our siblings. But we can change our futures. We can change our surroundings where we live. We can always, despite what you think, walk away. I myself was fortunate enough to never grow up in a dysfunctional house or a dysfunctional family. But I've got plenty of friends and know many who have sadly done so. And they've felt their confidence shattered by abusive parents. Or perhaps they've been made the scapegoat and their siblings the golden child. Now, who's to blame? Is it the parents? Maybe it's the grandparents. Maybe it's religion and culture, society. Maybe it's television or the media in general. Who knows? But to put you at ease, I've done my research. Here are the 4 signs you may have a dysfunctional family. Number 1, no boundaries. I've often spoken about boundaries in my content on narcissism. What does it mean to have a healthy boundary? Based on my personal experience, I believe having boundaries is having the mental strength and resilience to protect yourself from abuse of any type. And abuse can be violence, it can be verbal, manipulation, gaslighting, triangulation, lying, bullying, and so on. And of course, guilt tripping as well. And having a healthy boundary is the ability to say no, to walk away, and ultimately have the right amount of self-respect to no longer tolerate such behavior. Think of yourself, ironically, as a parent and that toxic person or people as your children. You can either sit there and let them get away with murder, or tell them you'll no longer allow or tolerate this abuse. And if it continues, you'll walk away and find yourself better and healthier people, happier people to associate with. I often use the analogy of having no boundaries, like opening the door to your house and telling everybody to come in and do what they want. What do you think will happen to your home? Your valuables will be damaged. Your valuables will be destroyed. Your valuables will most likely be stolen and vandalized. I think you get the picture. Now, with a dysfunctional family, there are no boundaries whatsoever. There is absolutely no respect for privacy, personal space, nothing. Narcissistic parents will force their children, no matter how old they are, to obey them or fear my wrath or be guilt tripped into believing their lies. A young woman I know for many years decided and built up the courage to announce she was gay to a traditional family, and that she even had a serious girlfriend. But the narcissistic mother refused to accept it and even banned the girlfriend from coming to the house or socializing at all. Not only did she not want to accept her daughter's life choices, but she also put a strain on her relationship too, due to the severe lack of boundaries. Another clear sign of a very dysfunctional family is one of bad communication, where nobody conveys their feelings and nobody is ever heard properly. On top of that, conflict always occurs. Bad communication for all types of relationships is a bad sign. There are many different reasons bad communication occurs, especially in a dysfunctional family. Sometimes there are narcissists in families, and talking to them, well, it's like trying to talk to a brick wall. Some family members may be very entitled or extremely arrogant for no reason, or maybe they are jealous and envious. And some family members may have other personality disorders that have never been treated. And some family members are still seeing their adult offspring as young children. There are plenty different reasons, scenarios, and personality disorders. A dysfunctional family I know once had an issue where their house almost burnt down. They were all out, and due to the awful communication, nobody got hurt. Nobody told the other what had happened when they found out and why. And as soon as they all came home, eventually, they all fought and screamed at each other, blaming each other for the house burning down. When in fact, it was just caused by a freak accident. A dysfunctional family will take the most minor of topics as well and turn it into a fight. There'll be overly sensitive people who feel attacked. There will be the abusive, aggressive people speaking ignorantly. There'll be those who completely ignore and what is going on and live in a delusional fantasy world. And there will be the immature adult who has no idea what's going on. Look, it happens. And usually they rant and rave and scream until they get tired and give a half-assed apology, if they do, before they go get to bed and repeat it all over again. And in some cases, people feel they have to tread on eggshells because someone's too sensitive, etc. They will even fight in public places such as restaurants or even Disneyland. The dysfunctional family cannot at all communicate with one another. Number 3. A dysfunctional family is unfortunately an abusive one. And it pains me to say that I've seen dysfunctional families close up. I've seen parents do unspeakable things to their children only because they have no idea how to control them. I've seen fathers and sons have physical fights. I've seen sibling rivalry take to an unhealthy level. It's so sad. A narcissistic mother I know abused their sons throughout their childhood only because she was abused when she was a kid. So whenever she had a problem, she would always take it out on her kids. She would scream and shout obscenities at them for no reason, or because she had a bad day at work, or in some cases, and this is the worst thing, she was bored. One of her children, who is now in his 20s, told me that he wants to raise his family and eventually settle down a different way. And he said, I want the opposite of what I had. I want to love my kids, hug them, listen to them when they need me, discipline them the right way. Never do what was done to me. However, it's not just the parents who can be abusive. I remember hearing the story of an awfully abusive son a few years back who was totally out of control. He did whatever he wanted. He used to fight all the time. He got arrested, had a criminal record. And his parents allowed him to do so and do what he wanted. He blew an inheritance on gambling. He had several children with several women. Trust me, this guy. He remained unemployed and sponged off his parents. If nobody stood up to him, he got extremely violent, and even if they did, he was even worse. Fortunately, this man has now been arrested and is going to be read the Riot Act. As I say, narcissists always lose in the end, always. My point being, a dysfunctional family is an abusive one, whether it's the parents or the children. When violence, swearing and manipulation comes into play, or even minor things, it's abuse. Even in the non-traditional sense. Call the authorities, do the right thing. If this is happening to you, you're experiencing this, enough is enough. Stand up for yourself. Life is better, the grass is greener. The final sign of a dysfunctional family is that there is no support at all. Do you feel like you're the black sheep of your family? Do you feel that you're getting treated badly just because you're a little bit different or you think differently? Do you feel like you're just never heard, like nobody ever wants to listen to you? Do you feel there's absolutely no respect for you whatsoever? Do you feel things are harder, more difficult, more challenging for you, whilst others get it so easy and there's favoritism? If that's the case, and that's your family I've described, your family is dysfunctional. Meaning that there is, yes, you need to hear this, a clear sign of favoritism, and possibly through no fault of your own, for no logical reason, you've been blacklisted. For years, a guy I knew wanted to buy his own property and move out of his home with his family. He'd invested his money in a business, and asked his parents for financial support, which they could afford. They were wealthy. But they refused, as they did not like that he was running a business, not doing a regular job, and not doing what they told him, despite him being successful. However, his younger sister, the favourite, wanted a new car and a new house, all because she had broken up with her boyfriend. The parents, without hesitation, paid for everything in full, and she got a brand new sports car and a luxury apartment too. When there's no support at all, you feel completely alone. And imagine feeling no support at all in your family. You know what happens then? You feel even more alone than ever before, especially if you still live with your family, especially if you're enmeshed and you have a relationship, or you have to have a relationship. Does your family relate to any of the signs in this video? Write it in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.